Right, I gotta do this because I'm doing this for my YouTube channel. Because I'm going to use that in case I have to use it to take this off, but I think it'll probably come off on its own. All right, so now what I need to explain to everybody who's watching this video, I need to explain to everybody who's watching this on YouTube what's going on. So, and you guys are just kind of watching it. Got my two grandsons here. I'm not going to put them on the video. They're just going to watch me as I do this. This is going to be Plan C for the mug. Plan C for the mug. And I'm going to try to do lost PLA. When I first attempted to 3D print this, I actually tried to 3D print it this way, but it would not work for whatever reason. I was having problems with the bases. Okay, I'll show you what's inside here in a second. And then the next time I tried to do it, I tried to do it this way, thinking that might work better, and that did not work better. In fact, it was only when I turned this up on its side that it seemed to do okay. All right, so boys, here's how you take it off the... Just kind of give it a little bend, and it looks like this is going to come right off. It sure did. It didn't even need to use the spatula. And then these are what are called supports. All right, and so then you just kind of peel some of these off. See how it kind of peels off? You want to peel? Try to peel a couple off.
Where?
Just grab one and take it off. Can you pull it off? Keep going. Okay, Ragnar, your turn.
I actually got
grab that one?
kind of like a spring. It's kind of like
and
a
then just
spring.
pull hard. It's kind of like a spring, huh?
Yeah.
Usually you're good at breaking things. I'm kind of surprised you're having difficulties.
Why can't we usually snap things in half? Because that's kind of the solid stuff is the only thing.
Oh, it is kind of tough there at the top. So some of this I'm gonna, oh, that's no bueno. All right, I'll look. Whoa, some of it just flew off.
Hey, like a caterpillar. Let's put this. Hey, like a caterpillar.
Is it like a caterpillar?
But no way. Oh, this stuff is in this pile, okay? Hey, like a mountain. Now this is a real tree. Can I do this? Put that stuff in here.
Is that another caterpillar?
Yeah. That one. Bing, 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 bing. Well, Papa's working right now. So, things. Hey.
Are you talking to my audience there?
Uh-huh. I'll say thanks for watching. I'm the one who says thanks for watching. I'll say, wow. Why is there stuff inside it?
Well, it's to support the top of, see, it was like this. Needed support so that it could print this top half.
Can I start stealing some more?
Yeah, you want to... Good job.
Can I? Wow. That. My brother's trying to, he's making me push backward and
Yeah, give your brother some room there, buddy.
Brother, you can have all these fat pieces. I'll have all these not fat pieces. I'm not giving them to Papa.
Well, eventually I'm going to throw them all away.
Why?
Because this is garbage, and I don't have a way to recycle.
Well, Papa doesn't have a way to recycle either. I'm telling people now that you're not talking either.
Oh, I see. So are you being kind of the narrator?
Uh-huh. The narrator. What are narrators?
Narrators, they're the ones that tell the story.
The story?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Hi.
So you know the people that say once upon a time?
Uh-huh.
They're the narrator when they tell those stories.
What? here I am, the little Roman. As you can see, Papa's working. Well, me and my brother just found this cool stuff. And then he's going to then throw all of this stuff away. Then he's going to cast the mug and then make it out of metal.
You telling him what I'm going to do with this?
Uh-huh. What then is he going to do? Make it out of metal? I'm going to throw it outside in the garbage can.
You're going to put that in the garbage can?
Yeah.
Okay, you know where the... No, not outside. We'll just do it on the inside for right now. Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody dropped a bunch.
Wow. You can also see that narrator.
Are you trying to take over my video there, buddy?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to wrap that up because I think I'm going to tear the rest of this and clean it up. Okay, I'm going to turn this here so I can show this. Roman. There we go. All right. Apologize for my grandson there. I think he's got a future as a YouTube star. Anyway, those supports didn't come near off. Roman, I got to do this. Didn't come off nearly as clean as I had hoped. So I'm still going to try to do Plan C here because I've got it printed up just to see if I can do a lost PLA. I already have an idea for Plan D, which actually I think will be a better option. It happens. All right. Boys, you want to say goodbye to everybody? Mm-hmm. Just say bye-bye. They can hear you. Say louder.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
All right, kind of a history recap here. Here's my first attempt at the Imperial Mug. And you can see where it worked and where it didn't. And the intent was to do that with a solid core, but I couldn't get the... I think I tried this with a solid core but couldn't do it, so I had to go with green sand. And then that brought me to attempt number 2, where I just, if I remember correctly, I just did the green sand core, but I did it a second time, hoping that I found a way to center that core better than I did. And then I eventually ended up fixing this one with epoxy. I could actually drink out of this. Doesn't leak, but it still wasn't where I wanted it to be. That led to try number 3, a new improved attempt at the solid sand core, and while I was successful, you could see that core had some of its own issues that I addressed in that video, and found a way that I could potentially fix it. But I still had the problem with it staying centered, and it fell, and I attempted to fix this one with epoxy. Have not yet been successful. I mean, partially successful. I've plugged most of the holes, but I've got some issues right here, right on the edge of where the epoxy and the aluminum meet. And that's going to bring us to my 4th attempt. And this is a full 3D printed mug, although I'm not particularly happy with this side. This is the side that would have had the supports, and they didn't break nearly as cleanly as I'd hoped. This side looks nice and sweet. And I don't know exactly how I would fix this, except to find ways to play with the supports as it's 3D printing. I mean, I do have another plan Plan D, because this is actually going to be Plan C, Lost PLA. That's why I did this, and some of the other videos that get to this particular shot might explain that. And so Lost PLA, which is going to bring me to this monstrosity, which is going to be the shell. I'm going to line this probably with something like saran wrap or something like that. And then here's I got what will be used as my riser, and this will be used as my sprue. And then I've got here the formula that I think I'm going to need. I'm going to do plaster, sand, and water. So the next segment should be doing that. I'll affix the riser and the sprue to the bottom. Got Freeman metal work there, so it will go, obviously, these will go at the bottom here, and I'll use hot glue to affix it to the mug, and then I'll mix that according to that formula, and this will be sitting like this, just up a little bit because of the sprue and riser. And I think I compensated for both of those as I was building this. And then I'll see about deciding exactly how I'm going to cure this plaster mold. And then it'll be poured this way. And this should ensure that I've got a solid core that is not going to move on me. So the trick will be whether or not all of this burns out. And the thing that I guess I'm most concerned about, because when I burn it out, it'll be like this, so that stuff will go on. Whether or not anything gets, using my camera hand there, whether or not anything gets trapped in this handle. So as it's burning out like this, whether or not that there's enough, I'm hoping there's enough that it'll drip out this way on this side, and then everything to the right of that will drip out this way, and hopefully it'll be a nice clean melt and there won't be much debris left in there. Even so, I'm not sure that this would be the solution to making these mugs if I wanted to make, say, Christmas gifts or something like that, because I'm not fond of the finish there, unless it's something that I can clean up when I'm finished with the cast to make it look nice. But that's why there is already a plan D in mind. All right, next segment we'll be making this and filling this and so on and so forth. Well, we're about to witness one of my more ambitious casting projects, and this is going to be with Lost PLA. And I don't know if I've shown this or not in an earlier video, but using AI as a guide and putting in the dimensions of the mold that I'm going to be using, which I'll show shortly if I haven't already shown it. 13.5 pounds of plaster and 13.5 pounds of sand, and I'm using that same sand that I purchased for the core, and then just shy of 5 quarts of water. So I've already got all of that assembled. There's a red bucket here. Use this. Red bucket here. And then I got the water over here in another container. In this bucket is both the plaster and the sand, and I'm going to kind of introduce all of that slowly. And let's see if I got a container I can use. Kind of scoop stuff out and stir it as we go along. And I got a bucket here that sitting outside. It actually had some ice in it. I can still see some very deep down in there. And then we'll mix up the plaster, set that aside, prep the mold, and then pour the plaster in. So, from things that I've read, it said start with the water. And so I'm going to start with the water. then I gotta get this back into the house because I told wifey while I was using the measuring cup, I wasn't going to actually use it mixing. Gotta try to keep things safe. All right, so I don't have one of those doohickeys with the drill, so all of this is going to be by hand. So I'm going to introduce this somewhat slowly, a couple of scoops at a time, and then I'll stir. So this is going to be wonderful viewing, I'm sure. And that stirred up pretty good. I've used plaster of Paris a couple of times, and I think I've always just kind of sort of eyeballed it. Now, I've watched a whole bunch of videos with this kind of this lost PLA or investment casting sort of thing. And plaster of Paris appears to be good for aluminum. Okay, this would not be good, or it's not recommended for brass or bronze. That you actually want something a little bit more. And I've actually seen videos where they were just doing the plaster of Paris and nothing else. I'm adding sand. I really want this thing to work, and I just happen to have the sand. So it's almost like making a ceramic, but where I've seen they've coated an investment and then coated the sand. All right, so there's going to be some sand in this one. And then, of course, the hope is that the sand gets suspended in the plaster Paris. Anyway, so I've seen this where they take their, it's usually made out of wax, not PLA, and then they dip the wax in the investment, and then they coat the investment while it's still wet with a bunch of sand, and it makes a ceramic, and then that holds up to okay, so I feel some lumps there. It holds up to the higher temperatures. So I'm going to try this, and I don't know, to me it feels like the sand is just kind of falling to the bottom there. I need more to get all that plaster in there first. Make it thick enough to hold the sand suspended in solution. Yeah, it's possible I'm going to learn another technique that isn't going to work for this. Well, if there's a failure, I hope it's not with this part that I'm making right now, because my next thought is to actually make a wax mold of my Imperial Mug. And then with that wax mold, again, in the investment type stuff like what I'm doing here, since I'm only wanting to make this out of aluminum, I don't need to buy the expensive stuff, and I'm told that investment stuff is pretty pricey. I haven't actually looked it up myself. I just the reactions of my fellow YouTubers. It seems to be stirring kind of nice. I mean, I got a gift certificate for Christmas for Harbor Freight. I'm sure I could have gotten one of those little doohickeys. I didn't think about it until just now. And put it on my drill, assuming my little drill is powerful enough to drive it. All right, well, this is definitely getting thicker. And then the next thing I'm concerned about is whether or not my Lego mold will hold up to this, because this is going to be kind of heavy. I hadn't thought about it till just now, actually. Live and learn. I know I could cut through all of this, but it's kind of nice to have all of this, as I actually do from time to time, if it's been a while since I've done something, especially if it was successful, to go back and watch. And so if I've got all of the video uploaded, all of my footage. All right, now we're getting into the sand part. There's still some plaster in there, but we're getting to be more and more sand. Making an interesting sound. All right, I'm not feeling where the sand is just dragging on the bottom. So I'm scraping the bottom with this, and it doesn't feel like I'm dragging through sand. So perhaps this is working the way I was wanting it to work. Well, and then even if I'm successful at doing this, still need to cure this and melt out the PLA. This is just one step along the way. I'm seeing a couple of lumps in there. Just keep. A lot of variation too. I don't have a vacuum for this, and I would have to have a pretty big one to fit in a 5-gallon bucket. So I will try to pour this. Another technique I'd seen, but with epoxy. And some of that sand is just sitting on top, so it's definitely not sinking right to the bottom. Anyway, of pouring epoxy, I usually pour from way up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, because this is, let's see, 13.5, 26, 27 pounds. Plus the weight of the water. This is going to be a heavy bucket. Sand appears to be mixing in. Okay, that's encouraging. debating whether or not I wanted to put the rest of that in. Probably should have done half of that. Then this will just have to sit a bit. I think I'm going to line my mold with saran wrap. Some lumps in there. I can see them. I should have done that maybe 3 3/3, that last bit. Or are those lumps? Nope, those are real lumps. Kind of float, that's kind of nice. Definitely see the particles of sand in there. That's a good sign. I'm actually wondering if then I should dip this with that same plastic cup rather than try to pour out of this whole thing. I'll try that, see what that does. Thinking about how I'm going to approach this. In my ideal world, it's all planned out ahead of time. And the plan, of course, always succeeds. I think what my original plan was, I was just going to pour this. All right, let me go get the saran wrap, plastic wrap. Move this slightly out of the way. Oh yeah, that's heavy. I mean, obviously I was able to lift it with one hand. All right, let's move this into frame. All right. And does that look good? All right, I'm going to turn this off and then see if I can zoom in a little bit better. All right, I said saran wrap, but that's what I really meant, plastic wrap. All right, so here's my cup, and I've got my sprue here and my riser there. When I make the mold, this is where we're going to make it, and I'm going to get it as full as I can to the top of this, and then this will be the bottom of the mold. So then when I demold, what is the bottom now? Be the top. Nice, good long piece of film here. And of course, see, it cuts just exactly the way it should. All right, did that give me? Oh yeah, that was long enough. Think about this, whether it was going to stick to itself when I was trying to do this. Okay, just get it to go up there and then press down. There we go. Okay, that's looking a little bit like I was hoping, anticipating. Okay, it's got enough that'll... Okay, I don't know. One more layer. Go back over the first time. Maybe I'll do 2 more layers. Ooh, that was a clean cut. Okay. Now, if this were a live broadcast, I'd be asking for opinions. Is this going to work? Is this going to be okay? All right, and then this sits in. I still have plenty of clearance and such. All right, so let's start. Give this a couple more stirs. Start scooping this thing in. I don't think I want to pour this. I think I want to do it this way. Okay, might make for more drips for sure. I wanted to put some in that center first because I don't want this floating away when I start doing this. Yeah, I should just do it. What if I just do this one? Still pouring inside here and just let it... Okay, there's definitely some lumps. Okay, so the next time I decide to do this, I think I want to try to do it with one of those mixer things. All right, so now you might be wondering, hey, are you messing up those Lego bricks? And I hope not. However, there is in my county a Lego brick and minifig store. It just opened up a few months ago. Oh yeah, look at all those lumps in there. Okay, hopefully it won't interfere with whoops, don't do that. I'm gonna get plaster all over my stuff. I didn't even think about changing clothes. Of course not, why would I? Anyway, I can go to that store and guilt-free replace any bricks that were harmed in the making of this mold. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have a whole lot more plaster than I needed, which is interesting. So I thought I had that measured well. And you know what? I'm sure. Okay. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. I didn't want this thing to float. Shoot. What am I doing? Because shoot, it's gonna float. It's gonna float. And I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what to do about that. Have you sit right there for now. And use this lid. Okay, let's go back in to the glop there. Fill to the top. Okay. Will this wreck it? Can I sit this? Nope. Oh, that won't work. That is a huge bummer. Okay. Oh. I guess I could hold this. Cheryl, can you hear me? Well, unfortunately, I can't turn off my GoPro. And of course, this is not going to be a time, I'm sure, that it's going to decide to shut off on its own. Well, shoot. I'm committed to holding this here. Until that cures enough. It looks like the Lego mold is holding, though. That's good. Okay, let's... I was planning on doing this, but obviously not this way, in the hopes that it just gets some of the bubbles, if there's any bubbles. Where I'm concerned about there being bubbles trapped would be the where the logos, the Imperial logos are. All right, I got 424. Wait a sec, that's not, there we go. That, oh man, am I glad I checked. That was not sitting flat, which kind of makes sense in a way, because that it wouldn't necessarily be laying flat or sitting flat because of the two different size, the sprue and the riser. Glad I checked. I wouldn't have guessed that with the amount that I have left over, that is what's being displaced by the mug. It's an awful lot. I'm hoping that part of this floating wouldn't be due to a big air bubble trapped underneath. I probably should have had this thing tilted to the side and then reoriented. There's things that if I end up trying a lost wax, I can double check. Oh, I'll have to see how this cast actually looks once it's done. I don't even mind with the stick being here if I can lift it up a little bit off the bottom of the mug, because I don't care if this is in the mold or not. I can cut it off. All right, so sneak preview, if that's what I want to call it. What happens after this? Certain that that's still sitting the way it needs to sit, and it appears to be. I don't have a kiln to cure this in, and I'm thinking I can do it in my smoker. Outdoor patio smoker grill. The key will be, though, because I'm not going to waste premium smoke pellets, so I'll just get some conventional indoor pellet stove pellets. Here, Anna, she hears me talking. Should be scratching at the door here pretty quick. There she goes. And Anna, I can't get to you. Sorry. I know. I hear ya. I was hoping at this point I would just be able to walk away and let this thing cure overnight. Not cure, but harden. And then I would put it in the oven tomorrow. Melt out the PLA. Kind of step by step bring it up to temp. Maybe start at 250. And then raise it like 50 degrees every hour or so, till I got to the melting point of the PLA. Look what that still is. You have to watch the footage here and see some of these bubbles that are coming up. There's definitely a lot of air in this. And the question will be, what will that have on the texture of the cast? Well, this is certainly more involved and more expensive than making a sand core. But I mean, after 3 attempts, I mean, that sand core thing was just not happening. Good luck getting plaster out of my ring there. I can hear Cheryl in the kitchen. It'd be nice to be able to get this soaked. The phone's too far away, and not only that, I wouldn't want to touch it with these hands anyway. Cheryl? Cheryl?
Yeah?
Okay. Can you do me a big favor and turn off my camera? Turns out this thing floats.
Oh. Where does it turn off?
Just hit the button at the top.
Up here?
Yep.
This one?
Yep. Okay. Wifey came to the rescue here. So we've got that stir stick, mixing stick. Okay. And then we got a box over the top of that, slit through it, and then tape to hold that in place, and then some weight on there, and that should be holding things down. Now I'm going to probably need to check in an hour or so what this is going to look like, because I can't have that stick stuck in the plaster, because that will cause a problem when I burn things out. There's going to be a hole there, and if I have that hole there, aluminum's going to leak out, and I won't be able to fill my mold. Either that, or I'm going to have to find a way to put in a patch or something. Anyway, goodness sakes, I had not anticipated that that was going to float. All right, I'll be back, and we'll see what it looks like in an hour or so. The curing time was 2 to 3 hours, according to the bag. Let's see if I can get that on there. Yeah, formula provides longer working time, sets in 2 to 3 hours. If that's showing up. Well, there we are, 2 to 3 hours. Well, it's roughly an hour later after the great mishap, and I was hoping it was still going to be liquid enough to remove that stick. But I waited too long. It was about a half hour between when I was going to give it a half hour more. So it's an hour after realizing it was going to float, about a half hour after I got the box thing done. Anyway, the question will be whether or not when I burn this out, whether there's going to be a hole there, and what to do about it, and whether or not I should try to kind of dig out some and put a patch in there or something, and see. Yeah, what I should have done, I was thinking about this when I was on the treadmill, getting in some steps, is I should have put a dab of glue on the riser and then glued that to the bottom, and then it, well, that still might not have worked because I've got the saran wrap. I got to find a way, if I try this again, got to find a way to keep my 3D print, my blank, attached to the base there. All right, so it'll probably be tomorrow, the next day, when I decide to flip this over and give it a try. I'm not as optimistic as I was when I started this project. We'll see how it goes. It's the next day, and here's my block. And I think, as I mentioned yesterday, this didn't quite go exactly the way. But we'll see if it's going to end up working and being usable anyway. The camera's already kicked off once, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, now, I intend to film all of this, and but just know that after I get done chatting here, that the remainder of it will be whatever the fastest lapse time is that Clipchamp allows. That's what's going to happen here. I've already thought of a couple of different things that I should do differently. One, I don't think I'm going to do this block if there's a next time around, and I'm thinking there's going to be a next time around if this doesn't turn out. First of all, I don't think I need all of that plaster, so I would do something that involves a cylinder. I've seen things with paper and such, and that would be a lot easier. Paper and glue mounted on cardboard. That would be important because I intentionally had a liner for the Legos to spare the contact with the plaster. And what I had not anticipated, I did not see happening or coming, was that my blank floating. And so that would need to be glued down to the base, and I couldn't glue it down to this because of the... All right, that's twice that's kicked off, so I may not be able to get this filmed after all the way I'd liked. Anyway, so I would do a cylinder, and I would do cardboard or heavy construction paper or something along those lines next time around, and then use significantly smaller amount of this. I have a whole bunch left over in a 5-gallon bucket that I'm going to chip out. I'm not sure why this couldn't be ground up and reused again once it's dried out. I'll look into that. So I'm definitely going to save this. Doing this in my kitchen counter. First of all, wifey's out with her sister and her friend for Christmas things. Even though it's the Sunday after Christmas, I'm catching up with a friend, longtime friend. And so she's going to be out for a couple hours. That'll allow me to do this. I'm doing it in the kitchen here because the temps, they may be in the 20s now, but it was like 9 degrees when I got up this morning. There's no way I was going to try to do this with the shed. All right, so anyway, I've got my coffee in hand, and then we'll get through this. By the way, this is much heavier than I anticipated. For some reason, I hadn't even thought of what the weight of the water would be when I added it to the mix. I was thinking this is going to be, roughly 27 pounds at 23.5 for both the sand and the blaster, but the water. All right, so anyway, time lapse from this point on. All right, so what did I learn? I learned that I need to make certain one of these guys, not that guy, this guy right here, one of these guys is at the top. All right, what's it look like underneath? If I see a sprue, and I don't. If I see a sprue, an event, and I don't. And I don't even know where it is. Okay. Well, not going to do it right now. Goodness. Like I said, that's pretty heavy. I'll have to chip around. See if I can find it. The beautiful thing is that what is now the underside is actually going to be the top. But I was hoping I was going to see some PLA filament. I turn this thing over, which means it still floated. How much did it float? I don't know. Anyway, I need to get these Legos back in. That's an impressive pile, for sure. Get this plate cleaned up some, and then I'll take the plastic off that guy, remove this, and then before I get to the putting it in my oven outside my grill, I'm going to need to chip away and find the bottom or the top. It'd be the top of my mold, so I can pour some metal in there. All right. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse, and do some cleanup before I even think about that next segment. I've done a lot of thinking about how I'm going to proceed with this, since this has turned out a little bit differently than I was expecting. And I think I may have even said on the last segment, when I turned this over, I couldn't find where my sprue and vent spots were, so I'm going to see if I can find those. There's a couple of different things I thought about doing to get there, and oh boy, that didn't work as exactly the way I expected. Still feels very, very wet. I need to dry this out first before I try. It feels very damp. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking about doing. First I thought, could I use my Dremel? And with my Dremel, locate, look at the video that I'd taken, and then with that, oh, what a mess. Try to locate the approximate, like that, at the approximate spot that the sprue in the vent should be, and then go from there. But this is soft. Okay, so then I was going to do that, and then I thought, okay, instead of treating this like a bunch of pottery and fire it up real high, maybe I should try to just dry it out. And it definitely feels like it needs to be dried out. I got a feeling this is not going to work well at all. So anyway, I bought a couple of bags of pellets. I think I'm just going to put this in my grill. The hope is that I could find out where my sprue was. So then when oh man, yeah, that is soft stuff. Okay, I'm just kind of curious. I got 40 grit here. Is that going to work? That just plugs that up. Yeah, that is not going to work. All right, I'm going to have to dry this out first. So I'll do that. Let me see. I got a couple of bags of just normal pellets you put in your stove at home. I don't want to smoke this. It doesn't need to be smoked. And we'll see what happens. I'll turn that up to like 300, I think is what I'll do. And we'll run it, see what happens. What a mess this is turning out to be. All right, I don't know how much battery power I've got left. Well, I know how much I have. I don't know how long it's going to last. So here I am getting ready to take the plunge. There's my mold. It's been cooking for several days and such, and so I'm on the verge of going ahead and doing this pour. I hope I'm speaking over the noise of the grill there. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is set the mold in this bucket. I'm pretty sure it's going to fit. And then I'm going to surround it with sand. And the point and purpose of that is that it'll add some structure. There's a part of me that is a wee bit fearful of this thing exploding when I pour it. It shouldn't explode because it should be nice and thoroughly dry. But I know that there's a number of things that I'm doing that's a little bit different than the conventional way. One thing is that it doesn't have a flask around it in the same way that other lost foam and such like that. Okay, well, definitely fits. Now let's see if I can do this without putting a bunch of sand in my sprue. Of course, the sand will also help insulate some. You know, I'm going to pour some of this in that other bucket. That'll be easier for me to maneuver. There we go. Okay, that makes it a little lighter. I just saw some go in my vent, my riser. Dang it. Out. Shoot. Bummer. Some grains of sand got in. Alright. So the next thing you see should be me actually doing the pour. Alright, a couple things before this pour. I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead and pour into my riser rather than into my sprue. Much bigger target. I should have made 2 of those, I think. I'm also geared up way more than I normally am. The last thing I want is anything blowing up or anything like that. If this mold cracks or breaks, okay, it should be fine there. The only thing I'm concerned about is what spurts up this way. There's still some PLA in there. It didn't drip out the way that I had hoped it would. So I'm expecting some smoke and I'm expecting some flames and such. And I'm going to try to just go ahead and keep pouring. Alright, let me get my gloves on, shut off the furnace, and give this thing a try. Well, any excess, I just burned my bucket there. That should be more than enough metal. Now this will be a spectacular video. I'm going to need to go to Harbor Freight and get a new bucket. Bucket continuing to melt. Sand is leaking out. What a glorious fire. Alright, once those flames die out, I'll grab the mold and put it in the water. You want to do that, I'm told, with this investment type casting, so that the investment will kind of dissolve. But I'm going to need to do something about all that water leakage or flames in the plastic, because this plastic fire is probably going to continue for a while. And that should take care of the flames. Alright, I'm going to move the camera over and see if whether or not I can get an effective quench. I guess that's what you would call that. Yeah, boy, I don't know. I don't know. Alright, let's see if there's any chance of pulling this thing out. Ooh, look what it did to the mold. That mold kind of came right out. Should have thought about grabbing the respirator real quick. Okay, there we go. We still filming? Definitely one of my messier floors. Get this guy out of the way. With this particular project, I've kind of gone back and forth between having high hopes and not having high hopes. I'm back to that spot of not having too high of hopes. Now there's some cup there. Ah, failure. On so many levels. Okay. I don't know if I can grab that with my gloves. Okay, hopefully this is in focus. Handle didn't go, and yeah, probably way too many problems with the plastic bubbling up and such like that. Yeah, that was a horrible failure. The only way that this thing would have worked, I think, is if I had an actual kiln and could have burned all of that plastic out. Okay. Well, there is something else I'm thinking about trying. Okay, something else I'm thinking about trying, but I'll talk about that in the conclusion. The epilogue. The conclusion, the epilogue, as I bring this thing to an end. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pack some stuff up. Bummer, try number 4. Here's that promised epilogue conclusion, and what I'm thinking about doing next. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is scale this project way down. So here I've got my 2 halves, and as a comparison, okay, this is, you take this top, you can see it's scaled down quite a bit. And I'm thinking I'm going to try that same method I just got finished with. I don't know why I put those up there. They look better this way. That same method I just did with the plaster mold, except I'll do it lost wax. So I'm going to need to get some silicone and make some mold so I can melt some wax and do this as a proper lost wax. The other thing I want to mention in this epilogue is that I'm not going to try to get out a video every single week, and so I haven't decided yet, but I may just do something video making a little more conventional, where I'm maybe putting some more time in editing rather than just doing the raw like I have been. and then waiting until projects are completed, whether they succeed or fail. So it may be a while. It may not be automatic that the video after this one is just a week later. Got other things also. Excuse me. Other things also in the works. Things that I needed to finish that I started last year, and I'll get those in. But again, I don't have the luxury of time to get these things all done and knock them out week after week after week. So not sure if there will be a brand new video in the week after this one. Check back, look and see. If not, hopefully it won't be much more than a couple of weeks after that. I don't know if this one will be the next video, or if I'll hop onto my fuzz pedal or the guitar or a couple of other items that I think I've promised to do but haven't done yet. So, all right, that's it for this epilogue. Thanks a whole bunch for watching. If you found this video entertaining, informative, or any such things like that in any way, shape, or form, please like and subscribe. Blessings.